She's alive. Alive!
Oh, it's easy to know that the good weather is out.
Yep.
Because I got my pasty
got
white
your arms
skin
out.
on show. Oh, yeah. Gotta get a tan, man.
You tan very
Do you look at the
easy.
camera, though? I look white as fuck from, like, the neck down.
It's the light.
Huh? Well, that's why I have this on, because it's evening time we're recording, but it's really warm under these lights.
Super warm.
So it's like I'm stripping down, man. I got a few bits and pieces to look at this week. No real movie news to get into. Nothing serious.
No.
Well, to be honest, I just wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Because we started kind of doing a bit of the Joe Bob Briggs marathon, starting with season 1.
We did.
And we do it on whiskey night. Regular people call it Saturday.
Night.
Do you know what I love about it? Because it is good. It's really fun. I like the little bits of information he gives in the middle, do you know, at the breaks and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some movies that are on my list to see, but I've never gotten around to see. 2 that were not on my list. Probably the 2 worst we've seen, but the 2 most fun I've had watching.
Rabbit.
No. Blood Feast this week.
Oh, yeah.
Which is on our list to cover now. And my personal favorite name of a movie. Movie was fine, but my favorite name, Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama.
Did we watch that?
And that movie, that title really gives away nothing about the whole movie. There is no slime ball in the movie. They are at a bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose they're sorority babes.
Yeah.
They're alright.
Is the sorority or is it the babe?
I was expecting more from the sorority babes. It just seems like a more fun title. And even the cover, I'm looking at the cover right here. I didn't see any boobies like that in this movie. And they say nothing about the weird little lizard gremlin from the hood that was in it.
Right, okay, I can't remember this movie.
You not remember? Do you remember the nerdy guys go to the sorority house to peep in on them? And it's like there's only like 5 women in the whole fucking sorority. There's the 3 main ones and the 2 pledges. And do you remember they're spanking the pledges over the couch while they're watching? And then they tell them they have to, like, part of their pledge week shit is they have to go to the closed down bowling alley.
Yeah.
And they have to rob something. I can't remember what they have to rob. But they get in there and they end up releasing this genie thing.
Yeah.
But it's like a weird demonic lizard thing that is quite obviously black as well. Because they really play up that part.
Vaguely. I remember bits and pieces.
But see, he wasn't in a whole lot of it. He was kind of there and you never actually see him do any killing. You just see him, he talks a bit of his shit and then they kind of go to whatever happens to the people.
Yeah. It was a very small sorority.
Yeah, there was 5 people in it. Well, there was 3 people in it and
2 were pledging.
Yeah, and by the end of the movie, there weren't that many of them left. It was an alright movie. It was. See, this is what I love about horror movies, right? Even the bad ones are fun to watch.
Oh, they are.
So, you know, you're cool with it now. I mean, like, within the first 5 minutes of this movie, you and me were kind of looking at each other like, this sucks. And if we were probably sitting down in front of the TV on the couch just chilling, we probably wouldn't have watched it. But considering we were drinking and it was just on there, we kind of started watching it and talking and watching and laughing and taking the piss. And that's how these movies should be watched. These kind of movies with crazy titles like Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama. They probably should be taken with a pinch of salt and for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Blood Feast was fun. I mean, for 1963, that was definitely ahead of its time on the gore side.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, now you'd be kind of laughing at it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he, like, pulls Joanne's tongue out, and as ridiculous as the whole process of him pulling the tongue out, you still kind of flinch a little bit when he's dangling the whole thing from the root, just swinging there, like, you know?
Yeah, until you realise that he's pulled it out with his 2 fingers, apparently. That's the
Jesus Christ, that girl sucked at acting as well. What was her name? The Playboy girl? Hang on, I got it here. It was Connie Mason.
Was it Connie Mason? It was.
Yeah, she was god awful.
I want to see the follow up to it though.
Huh?
The 2000 Maniacs movie. That's technically a follow up to it.
Is it a follow up or is it just done by Herschel?
Joe Bob Briggs said it was a follow up to it.
But I think he said it might have meant that in the sense of he followed that movie up by making this movie.
But yeah, I don't
know if it actually has any. I don't think you left room for a sequel to Blood Feast. You know, pretty definitive ending.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No, I would agree with you. But when you look up Blood Feast to try and get stuff about it, all I get is Blood Feast.
There is Blood Feast 2.
2002, which gets shit on a bit.
Blood Feast 2. All you can eat.
Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, we got to watch this. And he directed that as well.
Yeah,
I thought he was retired. Didn't Joe Bob say that he was like well retired at one point and that he didn't even know that these movies were still out there? And
no, he was alive till 2016. Blood Feast 2 was 2002. So maybe
cannibal caterer kills various young women in preparation for a ritual feast for a long dormant Egyptian goddess that has him under its control. Oh, we'll watch this. We will be watching this 100%. Oh, it's his grandson.
Oh, the
Fuad
Egyptian
Ramez the Third.
Class.
So yeah, we'll be checking this out.
Okay.
We might watch that this weekend. We'll see. But it's a fun. What's 2000 Maniacs about?
2000 Maniacs is the one with the Civil Warrior ghosties.
Okay,
It's slasher though.
Again, these are really, really cheap movies. Like they were saying that this guy wasn't really a movie maker. He was just trying to make money, and that like he kind of jumped around from.
Oh, he's a businessman.
Yeah, business to business, trying to make money. But this was just one of the ways he made money. And
well, you could tell that, especially when they were in the cops' shop.
Oh God, that was terrible.
That was awful.
That was terrible. Worst actor
it
in
must have
this.
been a massive office, like though.
What was his name? What was the name of that actor? Actually, we got a name and shame. This guy, he sucked balls. Frank the Police Captain. Oh my God, Scott Hall.
Huh?
Not the Scott Hall, but a Scott Hall.
A Scott Hall.
In 1968, I don't think Scott Hall would have been doing a whole pile of acting.
Oh, there's Scott Hall. Yeah. No, when I typed in Scott Hall, I got the hot Scott Hall. Yeah, and even when I type in Scott Hall actor, I still get Scott Hall.
Scott H. Hall. Try that.
Scott H. Hall.
Scott H. Hall. There you go.
Oh, here he is. Yeah.
I sincerely hope he didn't work in many other movies because he sucked.
He's got an IMDb.
He had 3 movies. The Greatest Show on Earth, where he played a spectator uncredited, and Color Me Blood Red, he was Farnsworth, and I'm pretty sure that was by Herschel Gordon Lewis as well directed that.
Okay.
So yeah, they were his 2 jobs. I would assume he had another day job.
On the stage.
Uh-huh.
On the stage.
But yeah, I know. Look, we've seen some good ones. Obviously, Basket Case was in there. I've seen that before, and a few others.
We skipped that because we've seen it so recently. Basket Case.
Yeah, but we saw the one after it as well. What was the one after it that we watched? Oh, Reanimator. Fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
I love Reanimator.
There was something else that we watched though.
Best head scene in the whole of cinema. Yeah, I can't wait to watch some more, to be honest with you. We have left to watch in this season, just the first season. The Hellraiser's in there. The Legend of Boggy Creek. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit through that again.
I'm not going to be watching that one again. I hate to break it yet.
Yeah, it was hard enough when we covered it, to be honest. And that was 3 movies that were basically the same and all shit. Mm-hmm. About the only thing that I found good about The Legend of Boggy Creek, I think I'm right about this.
I liked the fact that it had a local
from yeah, that's what I was going to say. It wasn't the girl from no, it wasn't the girl from Gary Coleman. Different Strokes. I had to sing it to get it. Different Strokes we got.
I've never seen Different Strokes.
Oh yeah, she's dead now. She
little girl.
Well, she was a teenager. Well, she was an adult when she died.
Oh, that's fine.
Do you remember in BoJack Horseman?
Yeah.
When they did the whole angle with his the girl cast member. Pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're one from she's in Marvel. She's got the big boobs and the glasses. She was in 2 Broke Girls, not the blonde one.
Kat Dennings.
That's it. Pretty sure she voiced the character, but remember it was she was a drug addict and she came to BoJack and she was having a child actor on his sitcom. I'm pretty sure that character is based on this girl. Is it Dana Plato, I think is her name?
Okay.
Dana Plato. Yeah,
that's her.
Got her. I think she is in The Legend of Boggy Creek. I might be wrong. She wasn't in Jaws, no? Definitely not in Jaws.
Dana Plato was in, she was in Different Strokes, she was in Bikini Beach Race, The Facts of Life, Compelling Evidence.
Well, The Facts of Life, I think,
Return to Boggy Creek, Beyond the Bermuda Triangle.
That's the one I was thinking of. It was the sequel. Evie Joe. She's in The Exorcist too.
As who? Oh,
Sandra Fowler, uncredited.
don't know where.
It was early in her career by the looks of things. When was Different Strokes out then? I thought that was the 70s.
Different Strokes was 1978 to 1986.
Which would have been... Yeah, the year after she was in The Exorcist. Kind of in The Exorcist. Small part in The Exorcist. Yeah, I won't be watching. I don't know. See, I kind of like I half want to watch the Boggy Creek movie to see if I was just not paying attention and it's actually really, really good, because that happens to me sometimes.
It
I'm only half paying attention, and then with Joe Bob's bits and pieces in between, it might be fun. Not his bits and pieces. He can keep his bits and pieces where they are in his pants, but with his information in between, it's interesting. So I don't know. I'd be kind of curious that way, because it was hard for me to skip over Basket Case because I wanted to hear what he had to say about it.
Be honest, I'm having more fun listening to what Joe Bob has to say than.
So it was hard for me to skip Basket Case in that sense, but I had just watched the trilogy, finished watching the trilogy. I was like, I just...
Another day.
Yeah.
We'll save it for a rainy day.
It's there. Do you know what else I've been doing? And we rarely talk about books, horror books. And I suppose this counts as a horror book. It's a serial killer book.
Oh, that counts. I know what you want to say.
Dexter.
Yeah.
I mentioned it on one of the other shows as well. I've been watching Dexter, or reading Dexter. And
you mentioned it on the main show.
It's really good. And I am glued to, I'm on book 8 now, the last book.
Okay.
I'm not going to scroll down too far to see what actually happens in this, because I don't want to find out. Because, I had a little spoiler already when I found out that Rita died. But she had died in the TV show, so I was kind of expecting it. But the only thing that matches up with the TV show is the first book. The first book in the first season of the TV show,
identical.
Almost identical. Yeah. He doesn't kill Brian in the end.
Okay.
So Brian is an ongoing character from about book 4. He's in book 4, 5, 6. He's not mentioned in 7, and then he's back in it in 8.
Okay.
But he's not mentioned in 7 because he's just not needed. He's still somewhere in the background. He's just not a main character because of what they're doing. The only thing I'll say about it, right? It does make me want to go back and watch Dexter again before the new season starts, which is only actually about 2 months away now. But he is far more likable in the TV show because you can't hear what that man is thinking all the time. I know you hear what he's thinking because he narrates the fucking thing, but he doesn't go into great detail with his narration. So you don't get the full whack of how much of a psychopath he really is.
Yeah.
And how indifferent he is to people around him. You can kind of
he does
when Rita dies. When Rita dies in the fucking TV show, he gets properly angry. I mean, that's the one time you see him kill someone kind of out of fucking.
That's kind of
spur of the moment where that was in the bathroom. He goes on his boat and he goes into some bathroom or something. And he just starts wailing on the fucking guy and leaves him there. There's none of that. When she dies, he is pretty much looking at the body and just being like, "Yep, she's dead." And she's like, "Oops, I'm gonna miss her cooking. She was a good cook." And that's it. And after that, all he's worried about is, "This looks like it. They could think this was me. I'm gonna get in trouble for this." And then that's it,
He's a bit worried about that as well if people thought it was me.
And even for the entire book in that one, he's cheating on her with somebody else, an actress. And he acts throughout most of that book like he is falling head over heels in love for this actress. But then when she dies, you realize he never gave two shits about the actress. He gave a shit about the lifestyle the actress would provide him by being with her.
Okay.
And even then, when we kind of get to the last book and Brian's helping him out of a bind, and I won't say what the bind is because I don't want to spoil it for people too much, but his first thought is, he's a psychopath like I'm a psychopath. Why is he helping me? He wants something. What does he want from me?
What did he want?
Do you know? He's like, if it was me, I'd want something. Do you know?
Yeah.
And you just see this complete indifference, and it makes it hard to like him as much as you like him in the TV show.
Yeah.
Because of just the way he acts and talks about people and his thought process in it. But the one thing I found really interesting was you also kind of see his mindset on setting up his crimes and setting up, you know, his preparation for the murders and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then this week, I was kind of scrolling through Reddit and I came across a little piece. So we're going to go into true crime territory here. We're abandoning our horror and going to the true crime territory.
Oh, okay.
And I came across a piece about Rex Heuermann. Heuermann's? The Long Island serial killer. The Gilgo Beach killer, who was only caught in recent time. Did you know about the Gilgo Beach killings? Do you know about the
I had heard of the Gilgo Beach killings, but I didn't know they had a guy for it.
It's only recent. He only got
2023.
caught. Yeah. It's really interesting how they caught him. Actually, I'm going to go into that before we look at
It is interesting. Yeah.
So I watched a documentary about it today. It's called Gone Girls. It's on Netflix. Really good. 3 episodes. First 2 episodes, to be fair, I didn't really give much of a shit because I knew I wanted information about him. And for the first 2 episodes, they were playing the whole, it's been 10 years. We don't know who it was. And it's like, come on, I know you got the guy or this documentary wouldn't be out. So I wanted more information on him. And the 3rd episode is completely kind of revolves around him and how they caught him and how they locked down on him. The fucked up thing is, right, there are people doing interviews in this documentary who are like, 10 fucking years ago, I gave the cops the exact description of this guy. I gave the cops an exact description of his car.
He's a big one, yeah.
One guy even said, like, when he got the phone call to tell him that they had arrested somebody, she was like, this girl was on the phone. She's like, put on the TV. He's on the TV. He goes, I don't need to. The guy is what, 6'6", fucking about overweight, big goblin looking motherfucker, beady eyes. She's like, yep. And he was like, bang on the money. He was like, I told the cops that fucking 10 years ago. And every one of them then that saw him on TV was like, that's the guy. 100%, that's the guy. They were able to... First, they got like hair fibers off the bodies. Mm-hmm. So they did have DNA. And eventually they kind of zoned in on Rex. How did they zone in on him again? It
was his car. The car matched the description of a witness, that was able to, from one of the murders.
Strange color green.
It was a dark green. Yeah.
And on top of that, then as well, he was matching descriptions. Oh, well, obviously, a lot of people saying he's a very tall, very heavy man.
And they also got the mitochondrial DNA then from pizza slices.
Oh, but that was after. So what they did was they followed him for like months, and then eventually he threw a pizza into the bin, and they took it out and they got it. But they matched it, and the hair was from his daughter and his wife.
Yeah, now they were out of town.
They had been transferred. His wife is from Iceland, so what he used to do was wait for her to go on holiday. They've matched all this up. All the killings line up with times that his wife went on holidays to Iceland and brought the kids over to her family in Iceland. And he'd stay home for an extra week and then follow him over afterwards. But he'd contact sex workers on Craigslist. Yeah, he was a Craigslist killer for a long time. And then he would lure him somewhere and he'd rape him, torture him, kill him, and dump the bodies. But he was using burner phones, right? To keep the cops off his trail. But this is the really interesting part I found anyway. Okay. So the cops went away and they tracked all these burner phones to where they were pinging off the towers, right? Then, and this is up there with the dumb fuck move that BTK made of, if I send you a floppy disk, can you trace me? What's the point on having a burner phone on you if you're going to carry your other phone in the other pocket? All they did was figure out, was his other phone, his actual personal phone,
on him at
in the same locations as the burner phone pings. And then they were able to say, well, Rex was there for every last one of the murders. He was in all the locations for all of the murders. It's ridiculous. And that was it. Like, they had him.
Even saving all, the written evidence to his computer and stuff
that was all forensically wiped clean.
Oh, was it?
They had to go searching for that shit.
Oh, so they actually had to pull it off.
This list that we're going to go through is from the year 2000. So
specialists had to come in and basically search the whole hard drive.
Well, see, the thing about it is, his house is still as is. Yeah. And this is another thing that people found fucked up, because his neighbours were literally like saying, if anyone was going to be a serial killer, it's this guy. Yeah. And apparently his house was very unkempt. He's an archaeologist. Or not architect.
He's an architect.
Architect. So it was like, this architect has the worst house in the fucking neighbourhood. That people have described it as looking like a fucking haunted house with all the bits and pieces around it. But it's his childhood home, and his childhood friend said like nothing has been changed in that house since he was a kid.
So the man doesn't like change.
He did nothing. But he raised a son and daughter in there with his wife and all that. And they'd go away. And then this co-worker of his said that she hooked him up with an interior designer one time. And the interior designer was walking around the house measuring, and she went to go for the basement.
He was like, no.
And he stood right in front of her. He was like, no one goes down there. And she's like, what's down there? He's like, my gun collection. That's it.
Lies.
Yeah. Another woman, a sex worker that he picked up. No, it wasn't actually. She was a dancer. And he kind of convinced her that he wanted her to sell drugs for him.
Okay.
And she was going back in the car with him to a house. And he starts telling her that he's a paedophile and asking her does she have young friends and all this. Girls or boys didn't matter. And you're one, I don't know how she kept a straight face in the interview. I'd be fucking disgusted with myself. But she was like, oh yeah, I could kind of see where this was going. So I tried not to touch him. But I stuck along for a light and she goes to the house with him. I'm like, you're fucked up. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And she said when she got to the house, he went upstairs to do something. And she could hear another person moving around the house. And she bolted out of there and he tried to stop her. Well, she got away. She had a stun gun. Taser stunned him on the neck and then bolted.
Did she try to find the other person?
She wouldn't go to the police because she had a rap sheet. She was on parole. And if she went to them and said, I went to this guy, they would have. She was afraid she would have been arrested.
Oh, this come here now.
Like one of the cops involved in the early investigation is currently in jail. Or was in jail got jailed for 4 years.
For why?
Because he was a terrible cop and he was breaking lots of rules. And his attitude toward this was,
sex
they were
workers.
only hookers. Fuck them. We got bigger things, fish to fry.
The whole, everything over there needs an overhaul. Like, deep clean, to be honest.
See, like, I will say, I am pro legalization of prostitution. And not in the sense of, I don't think you should be advertising it as a fucking career choice.
No, but to make it safer.
I don't think if I had a daughter, I would want her to go down that line of work. If we were stuck for cash, I wouldn't be sending you down to the local brothel to make us some fucking money. But if people are going to do it anyway, and there are some people who might enjoy that fucking line of work and want to do it, that's fine. That's their decision. And that's, it's whatever. It's your life. You make your own decisions, but let's make it safe for them. If people are going to do it anyway, why put them in a situation where they could get hurt?
Yeah.
It's just fucking sex, man. Everyone has to do it. If we don't do it, we all die. Plain and fucking simple. No, I know it's... Nah, I mean, like...
Would you really want him on top of you?
But that's the thing. I think most girls that would get into that line of work would be thinking, I'm going to be having sex. Like, they're watching porn and thinking that's what they're getting. And then they get there.
But even at that, it's not like great 90% of the time.
I know, but at least you're going to be guaranteed. You might be guaranteed the guy's going to be halfway physically good looking, like body wise and stuff. So they might be able to. I'm not saying but either is better or worse, but it's just you're not going to be able to pick your fucking partner if you're a prostitute.
If you had a bit of savings, you could.
Yeah, high class and all that, but I mean,
or as they get to the door and it's like, nah, fuck.
Not a hope. I have to be a little turned on, otherwise it hurts.
Yeah.
But this guy is disgusting. And we talked about the death penalty in the last week.
No, he deserves the death penalty looking through this list.
And that's the thing, right? When you look at this is what I was saying to you. If there's a shadow of a doubt, these people shouldn't get the death penalty. And I do believe that. I'm against the death penalty because
there's too much
doubt and there's too much.
Yeah.
But in the likes of BTK and fucks like this, where you have hard evidence of what they were doing, really pre-planned, not just pre-planned, he was tweaking it to make it better. This is the type of person that deserves to go down like that because you know he did this. There's no doubt in our mind that he, and that's what was worse as well watching the documentary was for so long, because the state of the bodies when they were found, for so long not knowing what had happened to them, they didn't know what manner of what happened to them before they died. They didn't know how bad it was before they died. They didn't know, was it just a case of he was having sex with them and started strangling them and killed them and buried them or whatever, but they know they were hacked up afterwards because you get rid of their head and body or their hands and stuff like that. But if you read through this list, he was definitely torturing them beforehand.
Absolutely he was.
And that's the thing, right? So when they searched his house, they went in and they went through his old computers and they said that they were forensically cleaned.
Okay.
But they were able to pull, obviously, look, the way I see it is no matter what you think you can do, there are people who are employed by law enforcement.
Oh, they can go right back into it.
They can do better. Yeah. It's their job to do better. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing I've always said to guys who are like, oh, some fella's house got searched and they found the drugs. It's like, yeah, they found the drugs. Because if you can think of it, you better fucking bet your ass they can think of it.
Fittings and
it's
all
their job. You know? So it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to have thought of it too. And it doesn't matter what newfangled thing you find online that might hide it. They have found it online too. It's their job. But
I wonder, would they try all the rocks in the garden? Like, do you know those really realistic rocks that you can get, like, to put your key into? And if they don't find anything in the house, is it like a thing of like, just right, go through the stones?
Well, I know that like guys would bury their drugs.
Yeah, but you'd be able to see the
disturbed.
Yeah.
No, I thought that too, but there must be some way of hiding that or disguising that or something.
Take a sod off.
So they will tear up your back garden if they have to. But I assume I would have to assume, like in this case, they're going to be watching you before they pounce.
Probably.
So
they have a fair
if
idea.
you are continuously going to a few rocks out the front and taking them up, looking upside down and looking happy when you look at the end of them, they're probably going to say,
maybe
right,
you just really like rocks.
I'll start looking through the rocks. And they don't need to fucking wait for you to be home to do that. They can do that while you're asleep in bed. You know, that's out in your garden. They can happily transfer.
Do they need a search warrant for your garden?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Property.
I don't know. I really don't know, because in that case, would they not be? Because I know they took for the Golden State Killer, they went through his bins to get a DNA sample.
But we put our bins out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did they have to wait until he put it on the curb, or was they just sneak around the side of the house and get it?
No, I'm just curious.
Because apparently once it's discarded, they can take it. No problem. You've discarded it. It's rubbish. They can take it.
Okay.
So I don't know what way the property shit
works over there.
But yeah, this to me, I was reading through it this morning, and for a minute I felt like I was back reading a Dexter book.
Mm-hmm.
But as I went further down it, it's almost like my brain realized that I was reading someone's real actual fucking list, and then I started to get really freaked out by it, about the thought that someone, to me, I don't know, is it just in my head, in my perfect world? Not in my perfect world, definitely not in my perfect world. My perfect world, no one would be doing this. But I always feel like it's more of a spur of the moment thing. I just can't see how anybody could sit there and think about how to kill somebody and how to go through all the little minute details.
Well, the way he calls it playtime in the list turns my fucking tummy.
I know.
But it obviously was like, you know, like it was him getting excited, all the planning out, like he couldn't wait to get this done. Like for him, it was playtime.
It sends a chill on me. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. You know,
for all his planning, he fucked up big time. I mean, like
not
the
really.
DNA, no, the hair.
He got away with it for a very,
know he got away with
time.
it, but when you look at the list, like, and he's like everything nearly checked off, but like, do you know, like they were able to get the hair, they were able to
not
get
his hair though.
His daughter's hair, I know, so, but I mean, like, how the fuck
for his hair? If you're with sex workers, if you're with a man and he starts to plan a hairnet, get the fuck out of there.
But how do you think of your own hair and like miss your daughter? Like, surely there's going to be a long hair on you somewhere.
But are you really going to be thinking about that? Are you going to think about somebody? If I was going, so I don't think when I'm leaving the house is Amy's hair on me somewhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he made this list out so fucking meticulously and learned from it every time and obviously updated it here and there. Like, and he, like, you know, like he still managed to get hair that wasn't even off his own head.
Like, that's on your clothes. It's very difficult to kind of, I don't know. I just think that's a small thing that maybe slipped them by. There's always something that's going to
always
slip them
something,
by.
yeah.
That's the point here. There's always something that's going to eventually catch him up. And his luck here as well had a lot to do with bad police work for a long time. Do you know? That muddied the waters a fucking lot. This first guy did not want to have a serial killer on his hands. He would claim, and this was the most ridiculous side of it, right? They found the original Gilgo Beach bodies when they were looking for another girl, and they couldn't find the other girl. So this girl, her name was Shannon. Where the fuck is she gone? Shannon Gilbert.
Oh, Shannon Rigg, yeah.
And this is the first time I heard of it, actually, was her story. And what happened was she had a regular client, and he was having a party. And because the regular client, when they didn't know who did this, I remember watching him being interviewed, and this made me realize as well how biased I am as well.
To what?
To when somebody says this person's the killer, I'm like, yep, got him. I was just like happy enough. You know, it was like they had no evidence. The guy was obviously innocent, and I was just like, yup, Brian.
Has to be him.
That's the bastard that did it. Because he had her come to the house for a party he was having for a couple of guys, like, you know, him and a couple of guys.
The guy that's not the killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had her driver out the front waiting for her. And the driver said that the client came out and said to him, look, you need to get her out. She won't come out of the house. She's freaking out. And the next thing she comes bursting out of the house and runs down the fucking street screaming that they're coming to get her. And she's freaking out. Like, and there's a phone call. They play calls to the police from neighbors and everything saying that there's this girl banging on my door. She's freaking out. What do I do? What do I do? Shannon Gilbert herself rings the police and she's like, there's a guy after me. There's a guy after me. All this kind of fucking shit. And it's years later, they find her body in kind of the swampy kind of marshland. And the cops had the nerves to turn around and say, no, we don't think it's related to the 4 bodies we found on around the same area. And her mother is like, what the fuck do you mean you don't think it? She was found with her pants off. And they're like, most people with hypothermia get really warm beforehand and they tear off all their clothes. That's probably what it was. She was taking off her pants. I was like, no. Oh, you know, this is really close to what happened to everybody else. I'm pretty sure she was, you know, a Gilgo.
And is she considered one of his victims now, or are they pretty sure that it was like a drug-induced kind of thing?
He has definitely been charged with at least 3 counts of first-degree murder and 7 counts of second-degree murder. 3 lesser included offences and 4 individual charges. So he is Megan Walterman, Melissa Bartholomew, Amber Costello, and Maureen Bernard Barnes, as well as Jessica Taylor, Sandra Costilla, and Valerie Mack. So no, he has not been.
Yeah, police have stated that the death of Gilbert, whose disappearance triggered the search, during which the first set of bodies was found, was due to drowning and is likely unrelated to the Long Island serial killer case. And her mother, she's dead now, ended up filing a lawsuit against the Suffolk County Police Department.
But yeah, well, she was right though. I mean, they fucked this up at the start.
Absolutely.
Where was it? Oh yeah, his list.
Oh.
What?
Gilbert's now deceased murderer. Mary Gilbert was killed in 2016 by her daughter. So Shannon's sister, Sarah, killed her mom.
Really?
In real life, and was convicted of murder in 2017 and sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Oh, they didn't mention that.
He had suffered from severe mental illness. Jesus,
they didn't mention that. Anyway, we have a quick look at this stuff before we start dragging on too long here. So this file was found on his computer.
Yeah.
It was from the early 2000s. It was only found in 2023, 2024, whatever. And it was basically a list of do and do nots for his killing. So he'd obviously at this point done it a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, he's learning like.
Yeah. So he had the first heading was problems. Then he had supplies, dump sites, target, pre-prep, prep, post-event. Even that fucking freaks me out. Recon reports, takedown, pickup, body prep, dispose of the following, things to remember, and notes.
It's pre-prep, not prep.
This is prepping before the prep. Well, we'll see what he has in pre-prep. So like, he had problems here, right? And they're the obvious problems. DNA, tire marks, fingerprints, MO, plastic bag cat litter. No.
I'm not too sure what cat litter means.
Does
he understand what an MO is? It's just the fact that he's saying plastic bag cat litter.
Well, I would think because where does it say this again? Oh, yeah. If you look down here further on this, it says under police stop, it says truck stuck. I would think that the cat litter might be put under his tires to move if he gets stuck in the marshland.
Oh, yeah. And would the plastic bag do the same?
But no, I don't know what that is for unless you're putting it over their heads.
To kill them.
Maybe. So other problems, witnesses, trace source of supplies, foot shoe prints, photos, ? Misleaders, ?
What's that?
I don't know.
So, stuff to throw the cops off the scent. Misleader, I think, maybe.
Maybe. Police stop, truck stuck, fingerprints in gloves. So he is really in depth thinking about.
So is he
stuff.
disposing the gloves? Is that what he means?
Yeah, we get to that soon.
Oh.
Plastic bags matched to box, hair, and fiber. So he was on the ball with what to look out for. You know, he did have an idea. Supplies, booties, lye acid, police scanner, rope cord, saw cutting tools, hairnets, photo film. Do you know
He
what?
did use the
I
hairnet.
told you that. That's why I mentioned it.
Oh, I thought you were taking the piss.
No.
Okay.
Photo film. But you know what's weird here, right? Because we go down a little further and he burns the photos.
He
afterwards.
does. I noticed that.
Why
Like,
take
so
the
why
fucking
go?
photo? What are you doing? Like going home, jacking off to the photos and burning them straight away?
But why not bring a digital camera if you're going to just get rid of them? He's going to the trouble
Could be
of
a part-
developing photo. Could be a part of the
Part of the
ritual,
ritual
maybe.
and-
Yeah.
and yeah, and he'd have to develop them himself, wouldn't he? Polaroid
In a red
or something.
room. Well, if he's looking for photo film, I would assume that he's...
No Polaroid. Oh, well, would you still need the little things to go in, wouldn't you, for the Polaroid?
Yeah,
to
in my
pop
head,
out?
they're Polaroids, but then a photo film would be actually the round film.
Yeah. So he'd have to fucking figure out a way to do that himself.
Bet
wouldn't
you was in the basement.
he? No, they didn't find anything like that in the basement.
Oh.
Didn't find it. You need a dark room. Like.
I was just picturing a basement with no windows.
Burn can, foam drain cleaner, body wash wipes. The body wash doesn't creep me out, but the idea of
But
that
the wipes.
fucking
Yeah.
nasty, blubbery cunt fucking wiping himself down with baby wipes makes me sick.
I reckon he was obviously washing the bodies as well, though.
I was thinking that, all right, because taps, drop cloths, medical gloves, bags, tape, large electrical clips, and ratchet cargo strap. What was he doing? Strapping him to the back of his car? Onto the roof?
I was imagining on the roof rack. It's terrible.
Nothing to see here, officer. Then he had dump sites. He had dumpster site. Next time, recon dumpster locations. Dump site 1, Mill Road. That was another thing that once they found this lined right up with one of his crimes because there was bodies found on Mill Road. Dump site 2, question mark. He hadn't decided yet. Targets. Target 1, Megan.
Megan was one of the victims.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a victim called Megan. I'll get you her name here now. So that was... Sorry, there's a few to get through. I'm pretty sure there was a Megan... Megan Waterman. So she went missing in 2010.
Other notes for Target. Small is good.
He liked petite women. A lot of them were in around like just verging on 5 foot. It's kind of
They're
higher than
easy
5
for
foot.
him to fucking
Which
handle.
just disgusts me even more because he's a fucking
big
coward. Like.
man. Like, you know, he's
Yeah.
fucking... What did he say? 6 foot what? Can we find that? Could you find his weight and height if it's there anywhere online while they go through more of this?
One of his victims was only 4'10".
Fuck me, man.
4'11".
Whoever UNK is, she was a target and she was black. I don't know if that was a thing for him or not. I don't think many of them were. I know there was one black person in there, wasn't there? Because her sister was on and she was talking about it.
He's 6'4".
6'4", so he'd be 3 inches taller than I am.
Yeah.
He looks tall. When you see him being taken in and out by the cops, he looks tall.
Over 250 pounds. So there's no hope for them. Like,
No, not a fucking tall fucking hell.
no.
Everyone that saw him that had heard of him like this or had met him has described him as a fucking giant ogre, like, you know. So here your thing is prep. What is pre-prep? Vehicle inspection.
That's prep.
Engage target 1. So I suppose that's getting started. That's getting the target.
Oh, it's hiring them like, is it? Okay.
Recon dump site 1 and locate dump site 2.
Still hadn't gotten around to it.
Check the weather report. Recon video cameras, so make sure there's no security cameras in the area. And check and recon the pickup zone for the victim in for video cameras. So wherever he's going to pick her up, he's going to want to make sure that there's cameras there as well.
I don't even like the page hovering on his face. I just think he's fucking awful.
What? Yeah, he's a nasty looking fucker. One thing, there was another girl who went on a date with him. A sex worker that went on a date with him. And she said that like he brought up the
Gilgo.
the Long Island serial killer case to her.
Yeah.
And then he started going on about how he lived close to there and, you know, that he was really amazed by it. And Joanne said she said she could feel it in the pit of her stomach. She was like, I match the description of the victims. This man is the fucking killer. Look at how excited
So why didn't she go?
Did. She rang her fucking friend and she was like, I think I'm on a date with the fucking
But why didn't she
Long
go
Island serial
to
killer.
cops? Because
Same reason, she would have been arrested. They're all afraid to go to the police there because the police will not treat them well. The police will look down on them. The police will go for them before they will listen to... They won't listen to what they have to say. They'll just arrest them for prostitution.
The whole fucking system over there needs to be fucking cleaned out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, over here, I've seen cases in the newspaper where, like, sex workers are in court, you know, fucking giving testimony against a guy that tried to fucking attack him while they were on the job or steal from him while they were on the job or whatever. Even though I think there's like a slight little loophole over here where
one prostitute on their own is okay,
it's
but a
not
brothel
illegal.
is not.
It's a brothel that's illegal, isn't it?
Exactly.
Sex work
organized,
isn't particularly illegal. If one person on their own goes to be to sell sex, it's okay. But if you were to have a brothel or a permanent business running, then that's when it becomes illegal.
Exactly.
I think I might be wrong, but I've never.
I think that's right. Like,
so, Prep is set up the staging area, the stage area. Set up the stage is what he has. So I assume that's wherever he does his business. I don't know if they've said if they know where he did it. They're pretty sure it might be the basement of his house, but they know that they weren't killed where they were dumped.
Well, if that girl that went to the house heard somebody, probably in the house when the people were away.
Prep the holding area, build a table, crossbar. So the crossbar will be, I assume, something like, you know, one of those fucking X-frames that the sex dungeons have. And hard point. I don't know what that means.
Like a knife?
Maybe.
Hard point stabby thing.
God, I hate his fucking face.
Awful.
I just want to, oh God. Yep. Post-event. And that, and even him calling it the event, that just fucking boils me, man. It's disgusting. Destroy file. That didn't work out for you, kid. Nope. Change tires, burn gloves, dispose of pics. Why are you taking the pictures if you're going to dispose of them? Most serial killers would take the pictures. Going to the trouble of it would be their trophy.
They must have been Polaroid. So were they? If it was but they would have been post-event either way.
Yeah. And have a story set.
So he had his
have a backup story, you know. And this is disgusting as well. Recon reports. So he little report for himself. Video cameras on Route 112. This is where the video cameras are. He has a few video cameras. He's target one, cell phone information, voicemail information. Their phone numbers are right here. I'm looking at them like this is
beepers,
crazy.
Voicemail. Yeah, and he's able to tell if they're old or new. Look at that.
That's the phone numbers, is it?
Yeah.
Take down, pick up. So these are not from here. It starts to kind of be like, Joe, there's little notes as you go along as to what he had done in the past and what he should do now. Yeah. Things to update and so that. So take down, pick up, hunt too long, seen an area too long. So that's like, you need to be on the ball with your hunt. Get in there, get it. Remember, don't charge for gas. Cash only, because they can follow the card. Mm-hmm. He was obviously very good at what he did. I mean, I'm not going to compliment the guy too. I don't like him, obviously. He's a nasty piece of shit. But he was definitely thorough.
Oh, yeah.
And again, recon video cameras in pickup area next time.
Just in case they had some.
So, must be. Maybe he's using the same place. And if someone went missing from there, they might put another one. Body prep.
Don't even, because...
Wash body inside and all cavities. Is that him or the other body?
That's the other body. So if there is any semen and stuff left in there.
Cavities. When I read this, I just assumed he was douching himself or something.
No, I think it was the girls.
I didn't know how he'd be able to reach around.
Holes.
And does his cavities include all the underboobie and underbelly stuff button that he's got? Remove trace evidence, fingerprints and hair. Half right. Remove trace DNA. Remove ID markers. Yeah, this is the body. Yeah, their body. Okay, right. Yeah, definitely. Because tattoos and marks. So this guy was going to cut off tattoo. No, that shouldn't seem crazy to me. Because then one of the next ones is remove head and hands. Removing a tattoo ain't that bad.
Remove marks from torture. So he was definitely torturing him.
Yep. And package for transport. That's the most Dexter thing I have heard yet.
DPD. Package for transport. Get out the bubble wrap. Fucking hell.
Oh, the meat's spoiled, sir. We can't send this in the mail.
Yeah.
Dispose of the following tools and devices. Target 1, clothes and personal items. Drop clothes, wipes and towels, props, toys, and wood items. I assume the frame, the
Prospect.
cross thing, yeah. Anything that touched target 1, what you wore, destroy book and computer files. So this guy was writing this down physically and putting computer files there.
Just to be sure that he'd be one day caught.
But see, again, in the Dexter book, right? And again, I know it's fictional, it's a fictional character, but he makes a thing of being like, really meticulous and tidy and having everything in its place and don't get paranoid because I know I'm like that as well.
You're very like that.
But I'm not. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Funny, you were saying something at the start of the episode and I was like, oh, that's Josh as well.
And this is where he really gets into the learning from his mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Things to remember. Sound travels, i.e. birds outside. Control the amount of air in and out to control the noise made. So he is looking for little holes in the fucking room and little fucking things. And the fact that he could hear a bird outside tells him that he can be heard from the outside.
And I wonder, is it because I can't remember what case we looked at before, but the girl got away, but she was talking about birds that could be heard outside and they were able to trace it back. It was some kind of bird that she was able to hear. I wanted to hear about that.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I can't think of what it was. And they were able to say, right, well, it has to be, they narrowed it down to this area. I can't remember who that was, though.
Get sleep before hunt. Too tired creates problems. I hate that they call it the hunt as well. Like, these guys are
It's not a hunt if you're going on to Craigslist and fucking calling them. That is not a hunt. That's shooting fish in a fucking barrel.
It's the equivalent to these big game hunters going over to fucking Africa, having a real fucking African shoot a fucking tranquilizer dart in them and then going,
I
got
it.
More sleep and noise control equal more playtime.
That's disgusting. That is absolutely vile.
Hit harder. Too many hit to take down. So that means obviously he had trouble with one of the people. Consider a hit to the face or neck next time for takedown.
Christ.
Fuck. Everything I read by him just makes me hate him more. Use heavy rope for neck. Light rope broke under stress of being tightened. Use push pins to hang drop cloths from ceiling, not tape. So tape residue. And we know that from Danny Rowling, who used to use vinegar to clean off the bodies because of tape. And because his dad was a cop, he knew that they'd be looking for tape residue to see that they'd been taped up. So he used to clean it off where the tape used to be so they couldn't fucking work out how he had them tied up.
But if it was to put the cloths into the ceiling, though, if he was killing them at home in the basement, why did he need to use...
Well, I would assume similar to Dexter.
Or maybe
again.
they'd fall down and the blood would get everywhere. No, I mean, like, why would he need to use tape instead of drop pins if it was in his own basement, like we were surmising, like, to hang them from the ceiling? Or is it that they would have fallen down too easy?
Unless, like Dexter, he had different locations for these things closer to where he was going to dump the site.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe he checked out. Does he say anything about checking out a room? No, he just says prepare the room, isn't it? Set up stage, holding area.
Well, to be honest, when I read that, the first thing I thought was in Dexter in the church where Deb finds him, that because that was very staged, like, do you know?
But that was the Apocalypse killer, the
in my head,
Tom Hanks' son, Colin Hanks, and
In
Mayans. Who's the dad in Mayans? What's his name again? God, I suck at this.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his name.
Mayans. I know him. He's really, really popular.
I thought you were talking about Nero from Sons of Anarchy.
No. Edward James Olmos.
Oh, I wouldn't have gotten his name.
Edward James Olmos.
What was his name in mind?
Felipe Reyes.
Oh, yes.
But yeah. Edward James Olmos. Yeah, they had the thing. What were they called? It wasn't the Apocalypse Killer. What the fuck were they called in that? Doesn't matter.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, so outside of that, he had a few notes as well. I don't understand the notes completely. Spur of the moment cover, ? Stockholm syndrome.
What
the
is
fuck
that?
does that mean? Is he hoping to like trick him into loving him while he tortures them? So that
Maybe. I'd like to know what this painting. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we haven't.
The more you do, the more clues you give. Looking at the painting, what, why, who? And painting is in quotation marks.
And what?
Is it
why,
like
who?
the way the cops will look at it, the what, the why, the who, what picture does this paint of the killer?
Oh, maybe.
That would be my kind of thought. Organized versus disorganized. So is he trying to decide whether to fool the cops by what type of killer he is? Because there is those two types of killer. There's the organized killer, there's the disorganized killer. This fella is a super hyper organized killer.
Yeah.
And PG-162, sex substitution. PG-163, page 162, sex substitution, page 163, page 167, mutilation equals disorganized.
Are they definitely page numbers?
Fuck is he?
When I looked up PG-162, it's flights to Bangkok.
Sex substitution. Was it that he was going to go over there and get his trills? And
PG-163 is also Bangkok flights. PG-175. This could be way off, but I just was.
Well,
confused.
PG-175 is mutilation equals disorganized. Sounds like a Cannibal Corpse song.
Yeah, PG-175 is a type of plastic coast guard.
I have no idea what he was talking about there. It's just weird, I think, to see someone's preparation for this.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Absolutely.
It's been in my head, it's always been reserved to Dexter. You know, as a fictional character who is this meticulous about what he's doing. And then even then, he's got a reason because he's got a code that he has to follow and he's got to stand by, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this guy is not. And you know what's worse, Amy, is that when they were like tracking him in the last few years, in the last year, like before they picked him up, they were watching him still contacting girls online and contacting sex workers online and getting in contact with them and trying to set up dates and stuff like that, to the point where the police felt panicked that they had to jump on this soon to stop him from, you know.
There was he would contact. There was one of the victims. He was contacting her sister a while after and asking, "Are you a whore like your sister was?" And I'm going to watch her rot and all this shit. Like it was fucking.
Yeah, she was. This is. I was saying there was one black girl involved, and it was her sister. And she was, and she. I don't know. Did she say she thought she was targeted because
of the calls you're getting?
Because of the color of their skin. Because other people didn't get these phone calls. And this one did. And they reckon he went through her phone, saw pictures, figured out who she was, and started ringing to fucking torment her. Again, very Raider-like, very fucking D'Angelo-like. It's
Golden State.
Yep. This guy is definitely in the top 5 nasty pricks I'd like to see die.
Not too unlike to look at him. I would say that there could be maybe a familial, like a far-out cousin with him in Golden State. Look at his face, like.
Do you know what's funny? His cousins were on the documentary, and they said this caught them all way off guard. They were like, he is known as Dear Rex to us, and he set up all the family get-togethers and the family reunions, and he was the life of the party.
But he's obviously able to cover himself. Like,
they had him a little clip of an interview he did. I don't know what it was for. Because the guy at the start he was European, he was speaking his own language. I didn't pay enough attention to see what the language was. And he came inside and he started speaking English, but it was something to do with his architecture firm. It didn't stay too long on it. But he is, to be fair, if you met him and you were talking to him in that capacity, of a professional capacity, you probably wouldn't think twice about it. You probably think this is a nice, friendly man. The woman who had worked with him and said she like went on business trips with him constantly, all that, said that it caught her completely off guard because in that professional environment he was able to hide it and be thing. And it's just so weird to see these guys, because when you think of a serial killer, you think of people like Dahmer, Ed Gein, Bundy to a degree, but like Bundy did have a bit of a cleaner image. Gacy, stuff like that. You think of these nasty, rotten fuck poor Henry Rolling. I'm going to follow Rollins.
You're going to end up getting sued someday.
Danny Rolling. Do you know these kind of low IQ misfits who are, you know, fucking the kind of dregs of society?
Yeah.
You don't expect it to be family men. And I think that's what makes guys like Raider, guys like Rex, guys like fucking D'Angelo all the more scary and fucked up, which they love. They would relish that shit, that you're fucking terrified of them. But it's terrifying because of the normalness of them.
Oh, yeah. Not necessarily of them. Like.
And again, to go back to the Dexter books, it's a big thing he talks about in the books. The big thing he talks about in the TV show is about trying to keep that mask up, trying to learn how to be human, trying to learn how to act like other humans and behave like other humans. No, I don't think these guys were like that. I don't think it was a case of having to pretend to be human and all acting. I think that's an over-the-top kind of version of it in Dexter. But, I mean, especially to have the ability to have a wife and 2 kids and still be... And not have any bad stuff come out about there, because the wife and 2 kids stood by him for a short period of time.
But she's filed for divorce.
Then she filed for divorce, but then she kept turning up the fucking court to be with him, and they still live. You know, usually they abandon house and have the house knocked. They still live in that house.
Oh, I wouldn't be living in any house.
That van is still outside the front. Now, let alone are they living in a house? They are actively trying to get all the stuff back from the police that they took while searching the fucking house, like his gun collection and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
So they still live in the house. And like neighbours said, they'd be out the front barbecuing and living life like nothing's happened. No, again,
they shouldn't have to pay for it, but I wouldn't want to live in that house. I wouldn't want that car.
Especially whatever about like him living there, the idea that he might have done something in there.
That's too much for me. Like
why would he wait for you to leave the fucking country before he'd do it? Like, and even in one case where they showed the updated him talking to a girl online, it was can you do something tonight? And the girl was like, sorry, hon, finished for tonight. I'll be around tomorrow. And he's like, no, it has to be tonight. My wife's out of town. You can come over to the house. So
that's what it was. So that's 2 pieces of evidence for it that they did it in the house.
Because I remember when I first started reading about this case, it was kind of around just after I had kind of worn BTK out completely. Because I had found BTK, I read all about him. And then I kind of worn that out. I was like, wonder was there any other killers out there that haven't been caught yet? And I found that killers that haven't been caught yet don't interest me as much. Because it's not so much the killing that interests me.
It's the mind of the person doing it. Yeah.
So, I mean, D'Angelo, before he was caught, interested me because there was enough surviving witnesses to say what he was like.
Yeah.
There was enough people had kind of gotten glimpses of him for it to be possible for him to get caught someday. So it was interesting watch. And there was so many amateur sleuths out there trying to work on the case that it became interesting to follow, because it felt like we were constantly getting closer, and I was getting information about what this person was like and what their mindset might be like and stuff they were saying at the crime scenes. This guy was leaving no one alive. And the people that did claim to have survived him or got away before he tried anything,
nobody was listening.
No one was listening to them. So to me, it was just a string of dead bodies in Gilgo Beach. And then when you started looking at it, there was talk of, well, it could have just been a mafia dumping ground from the 80s and 90s. It could be a couple of different killers, because some of them are the same, but then some of them are different, and some of them are spread apart. And then there was one guy found amongst all of them, and there was a child found amongst all of them. Yeah. So it was like, well, is it the same guy? Is it not the same guy? And that kind of just pushed me off it then as well, because then they had a guy, John Bitrolf. He was a suspect at one point, mainly because he had killed 3 sex workers in the New York area.
Okay.
But he's obviously cleared now of it. And I think there was another guy. So I think Joel Rifkin might have been fucking pulled into this at one point. I might be wrong about that one. When was Joel around the place? Oh, Joel. We've covered Joel. I know the minute I see his face, we've covered Joel at some point.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, 1989 to 1993. So he couldn't have been it. Even though he was killing people around Long Island as well. Joel the Ripper. I remember talking about Joel the Ripper. All right. Yep. I think we might have actually been talking about him because he was a suspect. Yeah, and it was initially speculated that Rifkin could be responsible for the Gilgo Beach serial killings. However, Rifkin denied any involvement in the case, and the timeline of discovery did not match with Rifkin when Rifkin was active. And in 2023, he was proven innocent of that one.
Oh, he was married once before.
Who?
Sorry, Rex.
Yeah?
He later admitted in a deposition that he'd been married once before.
See, this is the thing. All you incels out there bitching and moaning that no girl will go off at you. Fucking Ted Bundy got married on death row. Fucking the Green River Killer had 3 wives. This dumbass dumpy cunt has fucking 2
wives.
BTK even got himself a fucking wife. Stop bitching online. Stop crying that no girl will go off with you. And just, I don't know, be better than them. One up them. It's not a high bar, man.
No.
Do you know?
There's somebody for everyone if you put a bit of fucking effort into it. If that's what you want.
And stop blaming them for your fucking problems. Do you know? We got to check out that Adolescent show. Everyone keeps saying it has some incel stuff about it. I'm interested in what their
the whole
story
red
is,
pill, blue pill, that comes into it, but that's kind of got to do with incel and stuff like that. And
one of our friends nearly fell down that awful rabbit hole at one point. We won't mention names here, but he came bursting into our first house and he was going on to me about all this stuff he was reading on Reddit about alphas and betas.
Now I know who that is.
And I remember just being like, yeah, cool, whatever. And even to me at that point, it sounded a bit, you know, whatever, man.
What? Was he into it? Or did he see this as a viable route in his...
You know the way his attitude is towards... sexuality.
I don't think he could be an incel if he tried.
I don't think it was that thing. I just think that before it became such a toxic thing culturally now, that when it was a brand new thing, it was just a new quirk and it was interesting and it was kind of more at that stage. I think it was more marketed towards you of how to make yourself the best person you can be by being an alpha male. And I don't think there was. Yeah, but we all understand what it is now, and I don't think he'd say the same thing now.
Oh, I know, but even back then, like the whole concept of even just saying alpha male is always kind of being a bit toxic in my head. Like,
I never really paid attention to it, to be honest.
There's no fucking point. Like, what's?
It never really kind of. I didn't really get the whole alpha, beta, omega shit. I just kind of ignored it. To be honest, my attitude's always been: if you got to walk around telling people you're the alpha, you're probably not the alpha. You got to keep walking around telling people you're the leader of your fucking group. You're probably not the leader of your group. You know?
And then you have the problem of people actually like looking into it too much and posting all these like really weird videos on TikTok where they're literally growling at the camera and they have their like... Do you ever see those videos? And like, I don't know if they're furries or what, like, but like, no, they're not like, but like, they really play up the whole thing of like, this is my pack, and if you mess with my, and they're it's really, really, I mean, whatever floats your boat, but like, this isn't the sexual side of it. There's nothing, if that's your kink, that's fine, but this is the not sexual side of it, and it's so fucking cringy, and it's like
those dumb fucks that start going on about being, this is my pack, this is the leader of my pack. In the next fucking post they post would be, I'm a lone wolf, I don't need a woman. Oh, it's like, you're a lone wolf of a pack, yeah? You cool. Dumb motherfucker.
That means you got kicked out of your pack, yeah?
Huh?
If you went from being the alpha to being a lone wolf.
Right, I'm under no illusions. You're the alpha in this pack. She beats me. Someone send help, please. Quick. She's forcing me to do these podcasts.
Don't you dare blink at that fucking camera.
Okay, I gotta go. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.